Hello guys, today I'm going to be doing a multiple part series over the movement of CounterStrike Source. Movement, I feel, is an essential part and priority of this game to learn. It is necessary to have good movement if you plan to succeed at this game. In this first video about movement, I'm going to be going over movement in terms of gun handling, so let's get started. First things first, you need to find a good sensitivity for yourself. You don't want it being too fast, because if you were in a tense situation, you might flick past your target. And you also don't want it being too slow, because if someone ends up flanking you, you will have to make a 180-degree turn, and you might end up being killed before you can turn around. Finding a comfortable sensitivity for yourself is key for feeling comfortable with your movement overall. Okay, on to the first technique of movement. This technique is absolutely 100% essential to learn, and it is called stop strafing. Strafing is normally known as moving side to side. However, what I will teach you applies to moving back and forth as well. Watch my two groups of movements here and see if you can spot what I did differently. Here's my first group of movements. And here's my second group of movements. If you paid attention, you would notice that my first time stopping, I faded to a halt. My second time stopping, I stopped immediately. The difference between what I did was when I faded to a halt, I only let off my strafe key and did nothing else. When I stopped immediately, I let off my strafe key and hit the opposite strafe key, as if I was going to move in the opposite direction, but then releasing my opposite strafe key before I actually started moving the other way. Say I was moving to the left, I would hit the right stop strafe key to stop fast. If I was moving to the right, I would hit the left strafe key. If I was moving forward, I would hit back, and if I was moving back, I would hit forward. This technique is absolutely crucial to keeping your shots accurate. Now, to demonstrate the advantage of stop strafing by hitting the opposite strafe key as opposed to not doing so, I'm going to do a firing demonstration. Here's bursting while not stop strafing. And here is bursting while stop strafing. As you can see, stop strafing makes your shots much more accurate. The whole point of stop strafing is to stop your forward momentum in whichever direction you are headed. In that moment of hitting the opposite strafe key, you make yourself stand completely still, and as long as you're standing completely still, well, your shot's going to be a lot more closer to being on target. When you only let go of your strafe key and fade to a stop, it still counts as forward momentum, so your shot won't be nearly as sharp and grouped together. The last little tidbit of stop strafing I want to go over with rifles is its advantages over running and spraying people down with grease. Normally in public servers you will see a lot of new players, and sadly some older players, doing this. Doing this is bad. It's bad, 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 bad. Normally if you see somebody running and spraying like that, they're not very good at the game. If you only plan to play in public servers throughout your entire CSS career, then by all means keep doing this, because it's not going to really affect anything. However, if you want to play competitively, where the players are 50 times better, then this has to stop. Let me show you the correct way to stop and spray. As you can see here, I applied the stop strafe to the scenario, and my bullet grouping is so much more accurate than what I did over there. Doing this, as well with bursts, can cause people to call cheats on you, because you will have such a huge accuracy advantage over people who run and spray or run and burst, since they don't know this technique. Okay, first off, the stop strafe technique needs to absolutely 100% positively be applied to the op. Second off, I'm not going to show the scout, because you can run a no-scope with the scout, and you can run and shoot with a scope with the scout, and that's totally noob. In this first clip, I'm going to show you what happens when you don't stop strafe, and in the second clip, we'll show what happens when you do stop strafe. Okay, here is not stop strafing. Alright, now I'm going to show you how to shoot the op while stop strafing. Alright, immediately you'll notice a big difference. All my shots that I fired while I was stop strafing all went right on the money and exactly where my crosshair was aiming. However, when I was still in motion, while I still had forward momentum, not a single one of these shots was even within 2 feet of my crosshair. So obviously using the stop strafe technique with the op is crucial. And also no scoping with the op while running, even if you do stop and strafe isn't accurate. Sometimes if you're at close range, stop strafing with the op while not scoped can get you a kill sometimes, but it's not something I would really rely on. But anyway, yeah, that is the end of this first part in this multiple part series of movement. I hope you enjoyed it, and the second part's going to be coming up soon.